What's up everybody, Scott and Ascenti here with AW4U, the real estate group, and today we are breaking down the cost of living in Ontario's most affordable city, my hometown of Windsor. Ton of people looking to make the move right now as home ownership has become a dream of the past in other more expensive cities. So if you're looking for the nitty-gritty breakdown, you are in the right place. Now let's kick this off with the big one, which is housing. Right now, the average home price in Windsor, Ontario is $515,000, give or take. We can break that down further into the condo prices of $386,000 and a single family detached home at $565,000. As you can already imagine, we are much cheaper than other cities like Toronto, which is coming in at $1.082 million, and Vancouver at $1.168 million. As you can see, Windsor's almost 50% cheaper than Canada's biggest cities. And just like buying a home, renting in Windsor is also considerably cheaper. For reference, a one-bedroom condo in Windsor will run you at $1,544 compared to Toronto at close to $2,600, and Vancouver is approaching $2,900 a month. A two-bedroom condo in Windsor, $1,952, Toronto, $3,450, Vancouver, almost $3,900. Windsor is about 40% cheaper in rents than Canada's biggest, most expensive cities. The other housing related expense that we all can't get away from is utilities, electricity, water, gas. These can change drastically depending on the size and layout of your home, but the average utility bill right now in Windsor is $190 a month according to numbeo.com. The next big chunk of our monthly budgets is transportation. Of course, this will depend greatly on your preferred mode of transportation, and today we'll break these down by public transit, taxi, and rideshare, as well as car ownership. In Windsor, the main option for public transportation is our bus system. Bus tickets today are pretty cheap, $3.25 a ride. These tickets are valid for a couple hours and include transfers to get to your destination. For rideshare and taxis, you can expect to spend about $10 for a quick trip a few blocks over, or somewhere closer to $25 to $40 for a drive taking you across the city. And for those of you that prefer to own your own car, which in Windsor I'd highly recommend it as we are a spread out city, the average car payment can range drastically. If you prefer to save a little bit of money and find a reliable used car, you have that option. If you prefer the peace of mind of a new lease, that can be a great option as well, especially if you're a business owner. When it comes to gas prices, Windsor tends to be about 10% cheaper than some of the larger cities, and right now we're sitting at between $1.35 and $1.55 a liter. All right, so another important factor, of course, is the cost of food, which has risen all across the country. According to the Canada Food Price Report, we've increased somewhere between 2.5% and 4.5% this year alone. For grocery items, we definitely see the price increases here as well, but still much cheaper than other major cities. For example, the cost of milk in Toronto right now, $3.91 a liter, and in Windsor we're at $2.65. That's a 32% difference. A loaf of fresh white bread, $3.82 a loaf in Toronto and $2.59 here in Windsor, another 32% difference. Eggs, $4.60 in Toronto, $4.15 in Windsor, that's a 10% difference. Cheese, $16.76 in Toronto, $15.26 in Windsor, another close to 10% difference, and the list goes all the way down. And for those days when you don't feel like cooking, here's what you can expect to spend on eating out. For takeout, you can expect to spend somewhere between $15 and $20 per meal. If you prefer to dine in, a sit-down meal at a restaurant could cost you between $40 and $80 for two people. Next, let's break down sports and leisure. First up, movies and live shows. The average movie in Windsor will run you between $14 and $19, but like many other cities, you can expect to actually snag discounts if you go on a Tuesday. Concert tickets tend to start around $50 a person at Caesars and range vastly from there. And if theater productions are more your speed, you can be looking at anywhere between $35 and $50 a ticket. Enjoying your downtime in Windsor doesn't always have to break the bank. You have a ton of options here. The Detroit River, Willisted Park, Ojibwe are a few great low-cost options. For fitness side of things, a gym membership here in Windsor can run around $10 or $15 a month for your budget gyms and $60 to $90 for your more fully featured options. Now, let's bring this all together and talk about the overall cost of living. We'll run one estimate for a single person living alone and another for a family living together. We're using this free online calculator to run these numbers, and you can check it out for yourself at the link in the description. If you have your own expenses you'd like to include or numbers you'd like to change, you can plug those in as well and see how things change for your monthly expenses. Using this tool, we've calculated the average cost for a single person to be $1,625 before housing. That goes up to $3,158 if you include rent for a one-bedroom apartment. We ran similar numbers for Toronto as a comparison, and that came to $43.91. The average cost for a family, we've calculated to be $47.95 before housing. That goes up to about $8,000 when you include the mortgage on a 3-bedroom home. We ran similar numbers for Toronto as a comparison, and that came in at a whopping $14,385 a month in expenses. And there you have it, folks, a comprehensive look at what the cost of living is here in Windsor, Ontario. We've covered housing, transportation, food and leisure, breaking down the number to give you a clear picture of what to expect. So as you reflect on your own lifestyle and budget, consider these factors when evaluating the cost of living in Windsor. If you found this video to be helpful, don't forget to comment and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.